Okay, so the products I'm going to show you today, what we're going to be using, I'm using Magic Sculpt, so it's an A and B mix. So you got your resin, you got your hardener, and it's a 1-to-1 mix. I use different epoxy products. For this one, I'm going to be using Magic Sculpt. Get my cat out of the way. Now, this Magic Sculpt, I probably 6 months, maybe longer. So if you go to the store to purchase this and they tell you it's got a forever shelf life, do not believe that. This stuff, when you get a fresh batch, it's pretty malleable, but this stuff here is, I need to use it up because it's really hard. The hardener is, it's really hard to mix. And I'll show you what I've done. I've actually, because it doesn't come this way, I've actually taken it out of the deal here because it just comes in the bucket in a big mass. So I took it and went ahead and rolled it up in the balls, and I put it in these Ziploc bags. That way it'll stay more malleable a little longer that way. And the resin doesn't seem to harden up like the hardener does, which is good, because you'll see that I didn't do that with the resin part. And you'll get an idea from when I show you the resin how much difference there is between that and this here. This stuff is, it's pretty dense right now, and that's about the size of the balls I got. So this is the hardener, and I'll roll a ball of the resin to match this, and then I'll show you how to mix it on the board here, and we'll get started applying it. Oh, this aluminum deal here, there again, this is just my basic form of my wedge hog. Here's my reference, excuse me, my reference material. I picked this up at an antique store, like dirt cheap, you know. I think they wanted $3 or something for it. And I'm a firm believer in having reference materials. Now, I don't need to make my wedge hog look exactly like this one, but this one does kind of give me a good reference, and like the way he's doing the leaves here, well, my hedgehog will be peeking over to visualize this being a limb, so he'll be doing that over a limb. And the way he's kind of curled, I like that. He's got shape instead of just being straight, so that's a pretty good reference. But there again, mine won't be exactly like that because I'm certainly not trying to copy somebody else's work. And then I'm going to take and put wings on mine here too, with some spikes, and I'll find a broom, a really worn broom, and use that to get to my spikes. And then I'll be using another product to make that where it'll hold up. So I'll be showing you that in videos on this project here. So anyway, oh, here's my water. This is my release agent, and I use my water on my board when I'm mixing the product to keep it from sticking to the board. I make sure I got plenty of gloves, because even though they say it's non-toxic, well, I'd rather be safe than sorry. And this stuff does stick to your skin, and I don't really like that residue getting on my skin, because it's not easy to get off, especially if it gets on your fingernails. So I got my gloves, and let's get started. I'm going to show you how to mix this stuff. Like I say, if you get a new product, it is a lot easier to work with than stuff that's been sitting around a while. So when you go to the store to purchase, or if you purchase online, ask them, is there a date on that product and how old it is. So here's the resin, and you can see even the resin's pretty. It's not as hard as the hardener, but it's still pretty dense. So the key here, now some people weigh this stuff out. I've never had to do that. I can pretty well eyeball it and get the sizes close enough that I don't need to weigh it. Now this one here, see, this is too much. You can see the difference in the size. At least hopefully you can. So if you got too much, you pinch some of it off, roll your ball back up again, try it again. Still too much. You want to get pretty close, because Magic Sculpt is pretty finicky if you get your A and your B off as far as curing out. If you get it off very much, and you don't mix it thoroughly, well, you're going to come back and find out whatever you sculpted doesn't cure out. And then you're going to have to take it all off and redo it. What I'm doing, I'm just pinching it off and putting it back, and then I recreate my ball again, set it up against there till I got, you can kind of pick it up and feel the difference in the weight. It still needs to take a little bit more out. Okay, that, now I feel pretty good about that. I think I'm pretty close. Get my reference out of the way. Make sure my lid, oh, push that back down there. Make sure that, you want to make sure your lids are down good, because you really don't want a bunch of air getting in your material, drying it out quicker than what it's going to do on its own. Okay, so we just splash some water on here. That way, when you're mixing these together, they don't stick to your board. So, first off, if you get your board too wet, then it won't roll. What? I got 2 minutes left? Okay. So what you want to do is just kind of roll it out. If you get too much water on your board, this will just slide around instead of want to allow you to roll it out. Now you can see the definite two different colors here going on. And you want it to end up being one solid color. So I just overlap it, twist it, ball it back up, and do it again. And I will continue doing this until I've got it mixed thoroughly. So I've been mixing this about 5 minutes, but I didn't want you to have to watch me mix for 5 minutes. And you can see that the color is pretty consistent there. You don't see any different colors of grays. There again, I always lean on mixing Magic Sculpt more than what I think I need, than not enough. Because like I say, if you don't get it mixed up thoroughly, it doesn't cure. And I didn't mention either the board here, this stuff has got kind of like a plastic finish. And I use that because I don't want my water soaking into it, and I don't want my epoxy sticking to it. So you could use glass or whatever you got that's got a slick finish to it. Okay, now you see what I'm doing there? I was just pinching it to get it to work it out. And you just work it. There again, you can see it's mixed really good.